You can't see others clearly until you see yourself clearly. Hi, my name is Michael Henderson, and I'm a therapist in training, poet, father, and thinker, navigating the complexities of modern manhood, healing, and self-awareness. This channel is for men, especially those who are ready to get honest, embrace nuance, and grow without losing themselves in the process. Here we talk about what it means to live with depth, wrestle with ego, walk with spirit, and tell the truth, starting with ourselves. What if the thing clouding your vision isn't someone else's behavior, but your own need to be right, to win, or to protect your image? What if peace doesn't come from getting what you want, but from seeing what's true, even when it hurts? Let me tell you a story that revealed something about me that I didn't want to see until I couldn't look away. It started with what felt like a normal conversation. Tense, sure, but nothing too far off from the usual path of co-parenting dialogue. Then, seemingly out of nowhere, she said something that caught me off guard. She mentioned she'd been seeing someone new. At first, I brushed it off. We're not together. We've moved on. I'm mature, logical, focused on the well-being of our child. But that wasn't the whole truth. She went on to say that this person had a home, that he was family-minded, and later, she asked if she could introduce him to our son. That's when I felt the shift. Something in my chest tightened. My mind started racing, and that voice, the one that sounds like logic but is fueled by fear, told me, "You need to know who this man is. You need to protect your child. You can't be blindsided." So I started digging, scrolling his Instagram, looking for mutual friends, trying to piece together a profile. I told myself I was being a good father, but beneath that, I was spiraling. I wasn't searching for safety. I was searching for superiority, for leverage, for reassurance that I was still the man. A mutual friend told me some things. His drinking habits, how they met on a dating app, how the relationship played out. It wasn't flattering. Part of me felt justified. Another part of me felt dirty. Deep down, I knew this wasn't about my son. It was about my ego, about the fear that another man could occupy a place I thought I had already made sacred, about inadequacy, about comparison, about power. I brought it up in therapy. I sat across from someone trained to help people see themselves, and I told her what I found, what I planned to say, how I needed to be prepared. And she asked me, "Why did you go through all that?" I repeated my mantra, "To protect my son." She looked at me and said, "You've removed the privilege of meeting someone without judgment. You've triangulated information. You'll never see him clearly because now you're not meeting a person, you're meeting a profile." I didn't like hearing that. But then she said something that still echoes in me. When you see yourself clearly, you can see others clearly. My therapist was calling out my hypocrisy. What gets in the way of seeing yourself clearly? Ego and pride. We want to feel superior, not vulnerable. False cultural narratives. We're told things like breakups must become battles, that men must win, that fatherhood is territorial. Outsourcing truth. We ask for advice for people who aren't in the room, who don't understand the context, and who pour gas on our unhealed wounds. Emotional avoidance. We don't want to feel inadequate, so we reach for intel. We don't want to feel jealous, so we reach for control. Disavowed desires. The things we want but can't admit, the competition, the dominance, the revenge, drive our behavior unconsciously. So what do we stand to lose? Our peace. We obsess, spiral, and lose presence, our integrity. We act out of fear and call it care, our trust in others and in ourselves, our clarity. We project shadows instead of seeing souls. When you see yourself clearly, you can see other people clearly. What do we stand to gain by seeing ourselves clearly? Discernment. We stop reaching and we start reflecting. Empathy. We stop judging and start understanding. Presence. We stop being driven by ghosts of the past. Freedom. Because there is a peace in letting go of control. And I think the word that comes to mind for me is rest. How do you see yourself clearly? By surrounding yourself with people who reflect the truth and not flatter your ego. You practice honesty and unfiltered self-reflection. You learn to name emotions before they become weapons. And you catch yourself in judgment and ask, what am I trying not to feel? How do you know you're seeing yourself clearly? You notice tension, nuance, contradiction, and instead of running, you stay with it. You stop needing to win. You start wanting to grow. I had a friend that said to me once, most people would rather look good and lose than look bad and win. You shift from reaction to reflection, and you take feedback without turning it into a fight. When you see yourself clearly, you start relating to people as projections of your pain, and you start relating to them as whole human beings. You stop needing power, and you start choosing peace. You stop chasing superiority, and you start cultivating presence. That's the invitation. That's the practice. Look in the mirror, hold your own gauge. Look in the mirror, hold your own gaze, and watch how your world changes when you finally stop trying to control it and start trying to understand it. When I see myself clearly, then I can see others clearly. What do you think? Did this resonate with you? If so, drop a comment, and thank you for listening. And if you found value from this message, please subscribe.